Reminder: bathroom and food breaks are unpaid. Why not improve your performance with Jorel compressed sustenance wafers? Work longer, work smarter.
Yeah, give me yellow berry flavour.
Reminder: berry flavours are 10 units extra.
Okay, plain. Okay. Pull up the rainforest genetic diversity figures for last year. If I'm right, we should have... Okay. Pull up the rainforest genetic diversity figures for last year. If I'm right, pull up the rainforest genetic diversity figures for last year. Pull up the rainforest genetic diversity. Something's wrong. What's happening? Very wrong. Help me. What's happening? Something else.
Temporal error. Worker 228 is no longer online. Wages terminated. Temporal error. Worker 228 is no longer online. Wages terminated. Temporal error. Worker 228 is no longer online.
Twelfth Doctor Fan Audios, Episode 9. Stop the Clock.
And then this lever here?
Ordinarily, yes. This time, no. Since we're tracking temporal anomalies, we have to stay in a layer of the vortex where we can see them. Think of it as being of the right frequency.
Layer's this one. Right, I think I've made a mistake.
You didn't. That's the anomaly. We're getting closer. Looks like Beede IV. Now, why would anything be happening on Beede IV?
What's special about Beede IV?
Beede IV has the best environmentalism in the galaxy. They've solved everything. Waste, resource use, energy, conservation, every environmental issue you can name, and some that Earth hasn't noticed yet, are all managed to perfection. And they've managed to do it while staying wealthy and prosperous. They're the envy of 1 billion words.
Sounds incredible. How do they do it?
No idea.
I wonder if we can find out. Right, time to land.
I'll take care of the landing.
I can do it. You've shown me how.
Maybe, but there's an anomaly in the area.
Oh, smell that air. I think it just rained, but it's more than that.
That's what air should smell like.
Well, it's also the flowers, I would think. Look at them all over the terraces, and Beede and Bees are bright red, apparently. Beedish? Beedies?
Beedite. But I don't think anyone is counting.
It would have to be the one I didn't pick. Look, why don't we split up, cover more ground, talk to more people, meet back at the TARDIS in 3 hours?
And if you get into trouble, what then?
This is supposed to be a paradise, isn't it? I can handle myself. And you're one to talk about getting into trouble.
If you're sure. But, Ella...
What is it?
Don't make any... snap decisions. Not without me.
Snap decisions?
We... never talked about Libertalia. Not properly.
No, because then you were throwing me into hell in Indigo Cove, and then the TARDIS went off course and we got trapped on the planet of vampire monkeys.
Well, you always need an adventure with vampire monkeys.
You told me you would have made the same choice.
I would have. Saren deserved the chance you gave her.
Then what's the problem?
There were 3 lives at stake, Ella. You chose without hesitation.
The Observer forced me to choose. I did the best I could in that situation. I did what I thought you would have done. And then you forced me to choose when to rescue Solomon and Daphne.
I wanted to...
What? What did you want?
I wanted you to understand what it means to make those decisions.
I do understand, Doctor. And it's a bit high-handed of you, isn't it? Setting yourself up as the person who decides. Only letting me choose when you think I need to learn a lesson. Look, either you trust my judgment, in which case you let me make judgments, or you don't, in which case we have a problem. I'll see you back here in 3 hours. Just think about it.
Can I take your phone number? Or your order?
Yeah. My phone would be pretty long distance. What's a sweet mint hallory?
Kind of what it sounds like. Frozen hallory, roasted medium brown, 2 shots of sweet mint syrup, and me trying and failing to make foam art on the top. Want my advice?
Sure.
If you're looking for something to drink, go for a frozen hallory with silver nut flavour. If you're looking for something to eat, any of the flake pastries are good.
Which are the flake pastries?
Here through... about here. You're not local, are you?
Yeah, apparently I've got translation on everything but food.
If you're using nanites, that makes sense. Food is one of those things that varies so much. I mean, technically lamb doms and ariotivi are both dumplings, but you wouldn't mistake one for the other. That didn't come through as making any sense, did it?
Surprisingly, dumplings seem to be universal.
Won't you have enough dough? I guess the first impulse is to just wrap things in it, and then maybe dip the things in sauce. What's your name?
Ella. You?
Kedy. What brings you here? Tourism? I thought this cafe was sort of off the beaten path, not in the city centre, you know. I'd like to work in the city centre. It's a half-hour trolley ride to my night classes. Maybe for some people that's time to think and decompress, but it just makes me jittery and bored.
This seems like a nice place, though. I like all the flowers on the roof.
That comes standard around here. There's infiltration plants, they purify the air. A good friend of mine works in the time factories, and I give my left leg to do the same. Building society, not just living in it, you know?
That's why the night classes.
That's why the night classes. I'm going to be a scientist. You wouldn't know it to look at the world now, but we used to be in terrible shape. Polar ice caps melting, lead pollution in the skies and waterways, all sorts of horrible things. The time factories were what showed us the way through. And now we've got ice caps back to 95% of optimum, filtration plants, and eco-friendly trolleys instead of private transport clogging out the streets. The time factories are like paradise makers. I want to be part of making that paradise.
Sounds like they'd be lucky to have you.
Oh, well...
No, I mean it. Training is one thing, but that kind of enthusiasm is worth gold. If you guys use gold. I never did ask, what sort of economy do you have around here?
Mia!
You look exhausted. Have a seat.
Thanks. Hey.
Hey yourself. Ella, this is Mia. She works in the time factories. Pretty fantastic. Okay, Mia, you've got to tell me, what are you working on this time? Ella, you'll like this. Mia gets the most incredible stuff.
Weather control.
Weather control?
From satellites. Helps stabilise the climate. If a forest fire is going to dump too much carbon into the atmosphere, steer a big storm on top of it. If there's flooding, fake up the clouds. I wish I could tell you I had a breakthrough. When I talked to you... When did I last talk to you?
2 days ago.
Ugh, I lose track. I think I told you about cloud stimulation. Did I tell you about cloud stimulation? Can't remember.
Was that the microlasers?
Microlasers, yeah. Millions of them in coordination. Even the software to test it is a nightmare.
Yeah, but imagine, no more heavy flooding. You'll get it, you always do. Mia is brilliant, you know, complete genius. She invented a whole new paradigm for wind farms, a thing they can use instead of windmills. Better for the pterosaurs, you know. And she improved the solar roads project efficiency by 15%, if you can imagine.
Yeah, that's why I'm on this. They figure I've done miracles before. What's a few more? Kedy, I've got to get back. This was just a micro break. You know how it is.
Yeah, I understand.
Projection. Quarterly figures rise by 4% under current parameters.
4%. Alright, change the model. Outsource 10% of packaging materials to Arelon 2.
Factors include cost of facilities on Arelon 2, cost of labour, cost of environmental offset of packaging materials. Projection. Quarterly figures rise by 5% under current parameters.
Eliminate cost of environmental offset. Projection.
Quarterly figures rise by 7% under current parameters.
Good. Send memo to... Computer, what is happening on monitor 10?
Reminder, bathroom and food breaks are unpaid. Why not improve your performance with Jorel compressed sustenance wafers? Work longer, work smarter.
Whoever you are, you like cameras, don't you? Better. Now, let's see.
What the plague are you doing at my desk?
Surprise inspection. Economic projections, is it?
That's right.
And where do they go?
What do you mean, where do they go? These figures are the backbone of the projection computer. Computers aren't magic, you know. Someone has to put the figures in or else they're lumps of prismite.
What's this figure? Seems to eat more resources than anything else.
That's the temporal engine energy consumption.
Tell me about that.
Reminder, personal discussion time is unpaid.
Can't really tell you much, it isn't my department. The temporal engines use a lot of energy. Look, I just handle the figures.
You seem to be good at your job.
Yeah, well, the boss is always watching.
Oh, you'd be surprised. What's your name?
Karmot.
Then carry on, Karmot. You'll be mentioned favourably in my report.
Alright, but you never did say what this inspection was about.
So you're working your way methodically through the tower complex and you're shutting off the cameras as you go. Nobody does that unless they're planning something. Computer, high-level security alert. Take a snap of the individual on monitor 12.
Error. Monitor 12 just became inoperable.
Playback last available footage.
Playback unavailable.
How in the world is he doing that? Computer, top-level security alert.
This is a Jorel elevator specially built for your safety, comfort and convenience. Floor, please.
Top.
I'm sorry, the top floor is restricted. The top floor is not restricted. Thank you for using Jorel elevator systems.
Now we should be able to see some things.
You've been going through my tower very efficiently, haven't you? You're not sabotaging anything but the cameras, yet. So what are you looking for?
At the moment, set of nice big windows. And every tower like this has nice big windows, doesn't it? The better to see it all laid out underneath you. Well ordered and tiny, like an ant farm.
Kedy,
Yes?
I think we should go and check on Mia.
Check on Mia? You mean at the time factories? That's not technically allowed.
Yes, but something's not right.
What do you mean?
The way she was acting, she didn't seem like someone who was enthusiastically fixing the problems of the world. She seemed like someone who was ground down.
Well, fixing the problems of the world isn't exactly easy.
Maybe, but I'm going to check on her. Do you want to come along or not?
You wouldn't get very far without me. Hang on 5 minutes and it'll be time for me to clock out.
Waters Street.
Really, you're worrying over nothing. We have a good society going here. Paradise, really.
Looks about the same as most societies to me.
Honestly, I only remember the tail end of the bad times. I was a kid. But I do remember the air quality masks, you know? When it was fire season, because that was becoming a thing with our climate changing, people would go around with these flat white masks. Frightened me. These days we have fresh air, clean water.
Homeless people.
What?
That man right there, with the sign that says, "Time factory layoff, please help." That's what homeless people do on my world too.
That's different. I mean, that has nothing to do with the environment.
No, it doesn't, but it also means it isn't paradise here. I mean, environment, yes, that's crucial. If my world can get its act together on that, it might save all our lives. But it isn't the only thing that makes a paradise. When I think about paradise, I think about how people live. How people have to live versus how they want to live. And how close those things are.
You still have to earn a living. That's not likely to change anytime soon. Even with the sustainable computer chips, there's a lot that can only be done by a person. I mean, even my job. Computers can't take special orders, can they?
Riverview Way.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know how to solve all the problems. Maybe some of them can't be solved, not entirely, but I think you owe it to yourself to admit that they exist.
Are you sure you aren't just seeing problems because you're not used to the way things work here?
I don't think so. I've been looking at faces.
Faces?
People's faces. Everyone looks tired, Kedy.
It's the end of the day.
Not just end of the day tired, long-term tired. I've worked in food service, I've seen enough of it. There are lots of exhausted people here.
You can't solve people being tired.
Can't you? Has anyone tried? I started looking for it because of the way Mia looked. Just absolutely broken down by tiredness. And now that I'm keeping an eye out for it, it's everywhere. You've got it too, a bit.
I'm working full-time and taking classes. Of course I'm tired.
Seems like in paradise, you wouldn't have to.
I don't. I'm taking classes because I want to participate in making the world a better place. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe we're not at paradise yet. I suppose if we were, the time factories would have shut their doors for good. But we're a lot further along than a lot of places, and it's all because of the time factories, so just don't go blaming them for things before you have the full picture, alright?
There's another person. Time factory layoff, spare change helps.
Let's just forget it until we get there. We can't say who's right or wrong until we take a look, right?
Fair enough.
So, I had to ask...
Alamon Square.
Have to ask. You didn't seem especially into me flirting with you.
Flirting? I'd sort of forgotten about that bit. Just the phone number thing, right? I'm not always good at noticing flirting when it's happening.
The phone number, and also the fact that I kept leaning towards you.
Right. Well...
Not into girls?
Not entirely sure. Look, it's nothing against you. You're a nice person, you're friendly, optimistic, all that. I've never really been much of one for anybody else, romantically speaking.
Oh, you're asexual. Okay, got it.
Asexual?
You know, when you don't feel attraction to anyone. There's several types. There are people who don't feel attraction to anyone but are still down for the romantic side of things. There are people who only get attracted when they've known someone forever. There are people who don't do romance at all. And then there's the whole question of liking sex or hating it or being like, fun, but I wouldn't choose it over a good video game. It gets complicated, but attraction's at the heart of it.
Is that a common thing around here?
Well, I mean, common. About 4 out of 5 people that you meet are going to be interested in one or two genders, usually the ones most different from themselves. But, you know, there are a lot of people in the world. Maybe, I don't know, 1 in 50 people are asexual? Doesn't sound like a huge number, but it adds up. A lot more asexual people than, say, identical twins, or people who have both red hair and hazel eyes like Mia. Of course, genetics is different from world to world. For all I know, yours is made up of hazel-eyed gingers.
No, gingers are pretty rare. I don't know about asexual people. I think I'll have to find out once I get back there, because it feels right.
Good. Everyone deserves to feel like they know themselves.
How about you?
Oh, you know, girls. It's been girls ever since I was 12. We have this movie star and she made this swashbuckling movie and lacy white shirts and black leather trousers and swords. Oh my. That sort of thing.
Mia?
Don't I wish. I think she's pretty much open to all genders, but that doesn't mean she's into me. Not honestly sure why someone that brilliant would be into me.
She came to see you, though.
What?
She came to see you on her micro break. I mean, that has to count for something.
I don't know.
City Centre.
We're here. So there's the factory, but there are security guards. I guess I could try and talk my way past them, say that Mia forgot her lunch or something.
I have a better idea.
A piece of paper?
A very, very convenient piece of paper.
I'll take it you're the person in charge. The executive, the lord. I don't suppose it matters much what you call yourself.
I'm Rister. Who are you? How did you get up here?
And below us we have... What do you call your ad farm?
You don't even know what the time factories are. Are you an off-worlder?
Time factories. You definitely don't have the technology to be making time, so you must be using it. Using it in your factory for what?
Quantum computing. Only way to resolve the laser focus in time. Only way to resolve the laser caffeine pill.
Reminder,
Entirely redesigned
are
satellite.
15 units apiece.
Won't work that way. Sorry, sir. We're making progress as fast as we can. Sorry, sir. Weather has too many variables. Weather too many variables.
Reminder,
Quantum computing. Only way to handle that many variables. Quantum computing. Won't work. Only way to handle that many variables. Caffeine pill. Won't work. I can't do this on 6 hours of caffeine pill. Won't work. I can't do this on 6 hours of caffeine pill. Won't work. I can't do this on 6 hours of sleep.
What's going on?
I need to sleep. I can't do this on 6 hours.
You're doing something to time. I knew that already. The question is, why are you doing something to time?
Why is it any business of yours? Who do you represent?
I see people down there. Hordes of them. No, not hordes. They're facing for each other. Multiple iterations of a person existing on slightly different layers of time, which has been folded like a ribbon. A person could use up their life in those folds. Days on the outside, months on the inside. Children watching their parents go grey a matter of weeks. And lovers slowly realizing that one will outlive the other by decades.
It's an emergency measure. It won't always be like that.
What emergency? This planet is supposed to be perfectly managed. Perfect environmental balance.
And how do you think we got this way?
She's transparent. She can't see us.
Forget about that. Why are there so many of her?
I don't think there are, exactly. I think... Remember back at the cafe when she said she'd lost track of how long ago her last break was? I think they're doing something to time. Doing something to her time. What if it really was longer than a couple of days for her? What if it was a lot longer? Kedy,
It's hurting her.
I think it's killing her.
I took this planet from a struggling, dying world to the most prosperous planet in the sector, in the galaxy, and I did it by making strategic use of our resources. A brilliant mind working across a lifetime, the slow march of discovery, it isn't enough. It was never enough. Not fast enough for the planet. So we found a way to condense the slow workings of genius into quick bursts of genius. And our world prospers.
You're fond of that word. Prosper.
Why wouldn't I be? I've created perfect prosperity. What have you done lately?
What does it mean?
What does what mean?
Prosperity.
I'm going to try to reach her.
Are you sure? Ella!
I'm going to try to reach her. Mia! Mia, can you hear me? Can you see me? Something's happening. I'm not twisting. Mia! Mia! Kedy, help me! I can't see! There are too many of me! Too many of me!
Prosperity. What is it? It's a word. A lovely word. Sweet and rich, and pleasant to taste. It feels like it should mean a roof over the head, and a good meal on the table, and the promise of the same tomorrow. But that's not what it means at all, is it? Not to you.
Are you actually questioning why I should make this planet prosperous?
The geniuses in your ant farm aren't prospering. They're aging and dying. And that tells me that whatever you've made of the word prosperity, it's meaningless. If it feeds only the select and comforts only a few, then your prosperity is worth nothing.
I saved this world.
Yes, I imagine you did. I know a little bit about world saving as it happens. Do you know what world saving doesn't do?
What?
It doesn't make all your actions automatically good.
Help me! Help me! Help me!
No, not anymore. It stops now.
Kedy?
Yeah,
Kedy, what are you doing here?
We thought you might be in trouble. I think we were right. What's that switch?
Emergency temporal fold shutdown. It's incredibly dangerous.
I wonder if it actually is, or if they just told you that so you wouldn't rescue yourself. That's time distortion. I think it could have killed you. It was definitely hurting you. It hurt me. We have to stop this.
agreed.
Kedy?
I was an idiot before. I didn't see what it was doing to you. But I do now, and it stops.
And there are other people in here going through exactly what Mia was, so what are we going to do about it? What are our resources?
We have my workstation. We have my computer. Not much else.
Reminder: use of the emergency temporal fold shutdown carries a financial penalty.
I have a plan. Let's look around the factory a little bit, see what the conditions are. Because I've got a suspicion the factory is a lot more dangerous than anyone's been told. And we could use that.
Since you enjoy the view so much, I think you should...
Excellent. Just in time.
What?
Well, I was running out of ways to keep you talking.
Shall we restrain him, sir?
Please do. Honestly, you knew I had cameras all over the building. You were breaking them. And you didn't realize I knew you were coming?
I wouldn't do that.
I said to restrain him.
I really wouldn't do that. Do you know what this is?
Should I?
Probably not. No reason why an executive would be familiar with gel explosives. You're not the sort to get your hands dirty.
Sir?
Stop. Don't touch him. What the plague do you mean, gel explosives?
Exactly what I said. This little sphere should be enough to take out half the tower. Here's the detonator. Simple little thing, isn't it? And, of course, I can set it off remotely with this. You know, it interfaces with electronics. You've watched your monitors go down, so you know not to test me.
You can't do this.
I am doing this.
I'm going to see you captured. I'm going to see you restrained, and don't think you're going to get a trial and witnesses for breaking and entering, by the way. We'll handle all this privately. It doesn't matter if you don't want to tell me what you know. I can make your interrogation last for a very, very long time. You'd be better off giving up now and telling me where you came from and what you're doing here.
Doing? I'm doing something even more important than saving the world.
What's that?
I'm saving the people in it.
This is a dual elevator, specially built for your safety, comfort, and convenience. Floor, please.
I wonder.
Don't touch that! Do you want to blow us all into the stratosphere?
It's honey.
What?
It's honey. The sticky stuff all over the explosives.
Because they aren't explosives. There's some sort of honey pastry? With, looks like an analog thermometer stuck in it for a detonator. I don't even care what he knows. I'm sticking him in a temporal fold and then collapsing it on him.
Cameras. Cameras everywhere. That has to be the key. You love to see everything, don't you? It makes you a master of your domain. It also means there are records of everything you've done here. And if the records were to reach the interstellar media... Oh, now this is interesting. Outsourcing. Outsourcing to Beede IV, Ava 4, Selerin's World, with none of the environmental protections or safeguards that Beede IV enjoys. In fact, it looks like some of what you've been dumping on Selerin's World is of interest to the Shadow Proclamation. Problems on Selerin's World may not convince the Shadow Proclamation to shut down the factories here. There's no clear link between Selerin's World and the abuse of time, but it can't be helped. Right, upload all of this.
Search all offices. Shoot to kill. Boss's orders.
Just as soon as I'm done with the running part.
I can't believe you came for me.
It was partly Ella, mostly Ella. I could have stood in the cafe and served drinks all day and never have realised there was anything wrong. Why wouldn't you tell me something was wrong?
I suppose I thought I could handle it.
How could anyone handle that?
No, but when I started, once I understood what the temporal folding does, I thought, yes, this could hurt me badly, but I'm in control of it. It won't get me. I was going to work a few years, subjective time, and then get out. Maybe buy a studio. Devote the rest of my life to the arts rather than the sciences. Start painting again. Travel and paint flowers and appreciate the world I had helped save. Because it would be okay then. I would have earned it. But you can never stay on top of it, you understand? Your pay is never as much as you think. There are always expenses, and before long you aren't thinking ahead, you aren't planning, you're just surviving. You know how when a person is drowning, all their instincts go towards getting breath into their lungs and keeping their head above water, and those instincts don't let up long enough to allow them to call for help?
Yeah, but...
It's like that. Asking for help is something you have to learn, something you have to practice, and I don't have much. Practice, I mean. So, I default to treading water and breathing.
You'd have to earn the right to paint flowers.
I'm highly intelligent. That's what everyone has always told me. So don't I have a duty to use that intelligence for the good of everyone? For the good of the world?
Not like this.
She's right. Not like this.
I know. I guess I always felt like if I collapsed, that was on me. For not being able to take it.
No, not like this. Never again. And not alone.
Kedy.
Wait, the person at this station isn't looping. Why aren't they looping?
Temporal error. Worker 228 is no longer online. Wages terminated.
Oh, sky and world.
How long do you think he's been dead?
From the inside or from the outside? Because those are two different things. The factory computer says that it's been about half a day, real time.
He looks like a mummy, like he's been dead 100 years. Listen, if we can show this to the media and somehow get them to broadcast it, you can tell he died screaming. That's going to shake a lot of people.
There's got to be some sort of way to make a general announcement. We need something that broadcasts to everyone. Some way to talk to everyone in the building. What about the safety issues? As if this poor man wasn't proof enough.
You were right. There are a huge number of safety issues in the factory. Broken time splines, badly serviced equipment. Practically everyone in the factory is one stroke of bad luck away from temporal fold collapse.
It sounds nasty.
It's what nearly happened to you, it is nasty.
What would happen to the factory if all the machinery failed at once?
At best, the factory becomes entirely unusable until massive repairs are done. At worst, the entire place is caught in a temporal fold collapse and, well, buildings can't age to death, but they can go to ruin in an instant if time goes wrong.
Alright, then that's what we need to do.
I'm all for destroying the place, but the people...
Yeah, we've got to get them out, and I'm not sure how. Get them out, broadcast a message to everyone.
Temporal error. Worker 228 is no longer online. Wages
Actually,
terminated.
I have an idea.
Temporal error. Worker 228. All personnel evacuate the factory and the tower. The time factories are about to have a temporal collapse. All personnel evacuate the factory and the tower. The time factories are about to have a temporal collapse. All personnel evacuate the factory and the tower. The time factories are about to have a temporal collapse.
Hands up! And drop that, whatever it is.
Sonic screwdriver.
And without it, you're not much, are you? Shoot to kill.
There are a number of very excellent reasons why you shouldn't do that.
Such as? Any information you might have collected will die with you, and at the moment, I don't care who you're a spy for. You've succeeded at something very few people can do. You've annoyed me. Rather unfortunate for you.
The Shadow Proclamation would be very interested in the use of polonium on Selerin's world. That stuff is a planet killer in very small quantities, and you're producing it by the barrel.
But you haven't said the broadcast yet, or I'd know. So really it's just an academic exercise at this point.
Doesn't it matter to you? Someone who is so proud of saving the world, and yet your actions are endangering another one?
Not really. My loyalty is to Beede IV. If the Sellerins want their world saved, they can do it themselves, just like we did. Security, shoot to...
All personnel evacuate the factory and the tower. The time factories are about to have a temporal collapse. All personnel evacuate the factory and the tower. The time factories are about to have a temporal collapse.
That's impossible.
Here are pictures of the last person who was caught in a temporal collapse. And schematics showing multiple faults in the time factory systems. And this broadcast is going out to all local channels, so don't think you can bury it, whoever you are. The message will repeat until the time factories go. All personnel evacuate the factory and the tower. The time factories are about to have a temporal collapse.
Not just local channels. The Shadow Proclamation will get this too, and perhaps it will convince them to get involved on the Beede IV rather than just Selerin's world.
You can't do this to me. You can't do this to me. Security, get back there and restrain the prisoner.
If I were you, I'd run.
It's clearly a bluff. Security, get back there and shoot him. Shoot him!
Oh, but you can't do that without abandoning your tower, can you? You wouldn't be able to see everything at once. You wouldn't be able to control everything. One chance. Give up your throne, or go the way of your subjects.
Security, the prisoner is escaping. The prisoner is escaping the tower. Return at once and shoot him. I will see that none of you work again, you useless animals. Now get back and kill the intruder. You can't do this to me. You can't just refuse to do as you're told. You can't do this. You can't do this.
Until the time factories go.
That everyone?
That's everyone. Oh, and I see Mia. We should be...
Ella!
I'm glad you found me. Listen, I figured out...
I found the person who...
You go first.
I found the person who runs this place. I know what's going on.
Temporal Watsits being used to work their precious geniuses to the bone, using them up like batteries because of excuses about the planet needs this that aren't true anymore if they ever were true in the first place. Yeah, me too.
Temporal folding. But yes, I met the person who was doing it. He offered roughly the justifications you'd expect. Listen, we have to... We're too late.
What do you mean, too late?
That was the factory going down. Catastrophic failure of the temporal folding. Anyone caught in it?
Nobody was caught in it, though.
Anyone who was caught in it just died. In agony. I'm surprised we didn't hear.
Nobody was caught in it. I even broadcast the message to the tower just in case the effect was broader than Mia thought it would be.
That was you.
Of course it was me.
But you can't do that!
You haven't been in there. It's horrific.
Yes, but the people, Ella! There were hundreds of people in there! And you can't just stop a timefall without...
We got them out. Of course we got them out. Well, mostly Ella did.
Didn't you hear the broadcast?
I heard the broadcast. I saw the broadcast. What happened to people who ignored it?
The factory computer monitors every workstation in the building. We waited until it declared everyone to be on an unauthorized break, and then Mia set the factory to go up in 15 minutes. If someone had still been at their workstation, we would know.
I set off the faults in the system, but really it was Ella who planned everything.
You can't know, though. You didn't have direct proof that everyone was out.
I suppose it's remotely possible that someone ran back into the building 15 minutes later for some memento. But honestly, the odds of that are pretty small. I wouldn't after seeing how you can die in a temporal fold collapse.
So you just hoped the odds were in your favour?
Just like you do, all the time.
That's different.
How is it different?
I know. Did you get everyone?
Of course, why wouldn't I?
Because some of the people in there were supervisors, monitors, keeping the system running.
What the hell do you... Why would I wouldn't... I'm not about to leave people in there to die, even if they're complicit in it. What do you take me for? If Kedy and Mia and the rest want to do something to those monsters for their role in this, then that's their business. But I am not an executioner. Why would you think I would set myself up as an executioner?
You're the one playing the odds on who lives and who dies. You chose who got to survive the fall of Libertalia without questioning it.
You think being forced to choose is the same as wanting? Actually, never mind that. You forced me to choose back on Indigo Cove. I was thrown out of a helicopter. I was tied up and left for dead. There was an ood brain on my shoe.
I said I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not over it. How can I be? You put me through all that, so I'd think like you, so that... Oh, God.
Ella?
Indigo Cove. Trying to get me to see the world the way you do. That was because of Libertalia, wasn't it? You put me through hell because you were bothered by me making snap decisions, didn't you? You know what? Forget it. I'm not going to deal with you anymore. I'm going back.
She saved us, you know.
I think you're being unfair to her.
It should have been me.
What?
It should have been me.
So, what do we do now?
Well, we have each other. I mean, I assume we have each other, don't we? I didn't exactly ask.
No, I mean, definitely. I wasn't sure how you felt. I kept coming to visit and I thought you were into it, but I wasn't sure.
Of course I am. I just didn't think someone as amazing as you could ever be interested in someone like me.
Of course I can. You're brilliant. Although, when I said what do we do now, I meant about confronting the government.
Oh, damn. My mum was on other things. Sorry.
Clearly. Seriously though, they'll try and sweep this under the rug, they always do. We're going to have to work to make today mean something permanent. Get to the workers on our side, from the time factories and the cafes.
Well, like I said, we have each other.
I wish you were here, Mum.
So, what do we do now?
I don't know what to do about it. It's as if I'm gaining faith in myself and he's steadily losing faith in me, and I don't know how to cope. Can't go on like this.
The point was to teach her, show her. Let her stretch out her full wingspan, and she's doing that, but the point was to make her more Ella, not make her more me.
So what? Do I leave? I don't exactly have anywhere to go. Do I stay? I've survived people who don't believe in me before. I've survived me not believing in me. But I don't want that.
Who is she going to be if we keep on?
What happens next?
Stop the Clock starred Guillaume Babey as the Doctor, Laura Selwood as Ella Fitzallen, Ruth Long as Kedy, Bex Chadwick as Mia, Jack David as Rister, Marcus Massey as Computer Voices, Stuart Flitton as Factory Worker, Jorel Paul as Security, and Andrew Davis as Karmot. It was written by Isabel Pelleck and Caitlin Smith, directed by Andrew Davis, sound edited by Andrew Davis and Clara Laherty, scored by Eamon Roche, Pringle Sauce, Kay Downs, and Terry Fairchild. Special effects were sourced from Zapsplat, BBC Rewind, and Free Sound. TARDIS and Sonic Screwdriver special effects were sourced from TARDIS S-Effects and the Doctor Who Music Project. Don't forget to subscribe to the 12th Doctor Fan Audios YouTube channel.